Magic the Gathering players and collectors. We have made it to part 3 of a random Facebook marketplace buy. This is the second one of these I've done, actually, because the last one seemed to be really successful, and I got a lot of really cool cards out of this. Now, this is a whole different kind of collection. It came with binders. There's actually some long boxes, a huge card house, and then there's a bunch of like pre-constructed like planeswalker decks and random stuff you get to see here pretty soon. So in our third binder, these binders I haven't really gone through at all, so you're seeing it basically the first time I do. I kind of did thumb through and saw a couple few cool things, and again with this guy, it's such a weird collection because like, you know, it almost seems like like some stuff was pulled out, but then there's a lot of stuff still in here. Maybe he didn't know it was worth anything, or I have no idea. You know, it's just really kind of interesting. So we're just going to kind of dive into this third binder, check it out, see what we got. The last one we pulled some really good cards, like, was it Parallel Lives and some of the other ones. So it was like a mixture of foils and rares and foil rares and commons, and it's like, I don't know if there's a system going on here. I do notice that a lot of the same sets are in the same area, so maybe, I don't know, maybe they was trying to collect a whole set of that or something. It's tough to say, you know. But a lot of these aren't really worth anything. You've got a lot of commons and whatnots, but, you know, I have been tripping over some cool stuff here so far. So we're just going to dive into this binder and see what pops out, you know. But let's see, Personal Sanctuary. Let me get that one out. Let's take a look at that. Let's see here. That is a good kind of a... See, during your turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. So, like, people can't do direct damage or do things to you on your turn. So that's kind of useful. We'll set that one aside. Pretty good rare there. And then it's been kind of cool. I mean, this one, I'm just surprised how much cards there are here. And I'm going to make this a multi-part series. So if you guys want to go on this journey with me, just, you know, click the next video, go to part 2, go to part 3, 4, 5, etc. You know, at your own leisure, you can watch one a day or something, but at least it gives you kind of a sort of experience as I'm experiencing it, because, you know, when you buy a random collection like this, it's almost like, you know, like Forrest Gump, you never know what you're going to get, you know, and that's how this has been. I mean, is a foil cancel worth anything? I kind of almost want to say probably not, but you know what? Djinn of Wishes, we got Flash Freeze in there for Husk Breath. Nothing too crazy here, nothing that stands out to me. Now again, guys, if you do me a big favor, if I miss something, like Ivy, that's a great card, it's worth like 20 bucks or something, just let me know. Obviously, these are just typical counterspell kind of stuff. I mean, obviously, Mana Leak, I use that in a bunch of decks. Levitation's kind of cool. It is 4 CMC, but it gives all your guys flying, so that's kind of neat. Probably not worth hardly anything, but, you know, it's still kind of cool. And then, let's see what we got here. Merfolk. I did see a couple Merfolk in some of these that I was like, I just kind of thumbed through, and I was like, oh, wait, I could probably use that in the deck. Oh, we got a foil rare. Let's check this one out. Is that foil? Yeah, it is. And there's like, oh, there's 2 of them. Wow, okay. So we got Sphinx of Uthun, I think is it? It's Uthun. Flying, when Sphinx of Uthun enters the battlefield, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. An opponent separates his cards into 2 piles, put 1 pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. So I suppose he's got his uses. We'll go ahead and set that one aside. It is a foil rare, so any foil rares, I'm going to pull them out and put them in a little sleeve and kind of keep them aside, or figure out if they're worth something, or if I want to maybe try to sell them to recover some of the money from what I spent on this. Let's see here. Royal Assassin. I know that's not worth anything because it's been reprinted so many times. Nothing on that page really that stands out. You know, a long time ago I used to play with this guy. I did make a deck where, because he's unblockable, and I threw him in there, and I thought that was kind of cool for one, and you could even Voltron him if you want, because your Voltron's going to get through if it's unblockable, you know. Let's see. Okay, let's take a look at this guy's zombie. I'm working on a zombie deck right now, so hopefully you guys get to see that pretty soon. Sutured Ghoul enters the battlefield, exile any number of creature cards from your graveyard. Its power is equal to the total power of the exiled cards, and its toughness is equal to their... Okay. He's kind of cool. Also, he does have a 7 CMC. You know, I kind of don't... It's hard to explain. Some of the high CMC cards can be really good, but then other times it's like, well, to get it off, by the time you're able to cast it, the opponents are doing all kinds of more complex things like that in Commander. So we got another foil rare. It's a Phoenix with flying and haste. Whenever an opponent is dealt damage by a red instant or sorcery spell you control, or by a red planeswalker you control, return the Phoenix from your graveyard to your hand. So, for 3 CMC, I guess. He's just not very powerful, though. He's only a 2/2. I don't know. It's a pretty good card. It does have haste. I could see this card being used in more of like a modern deck, maybe, or... I think in Standard, this guy would have really been a rock star, but in Commander, I think the low CMC, or the low power toughness is just not really going to do a whole lot for you in Commander, but what do I know? Maybe there's something I'm missing there. Circle of Flame, that's a foil uncommon. Let's see here, we got Fling. This is an oldie, but I've used it. Let's see, Fling, we've got... the initial cost gets Fling, you can sacrifice the creature. It's kind of a win kind of con. Like if you have a really high power toughness type creature on the battlefield, you could just knock someone out of the game with Fling. I've done it before too. Like, oh, I had a 7 power creature, just throw it at somebody and they take 7 direct damage. It's a funny card. Grim Lavamancer. I think this was recently reprinted. I want to say in like Double Masters or something. But you can exile 2 cards from your graveyard. The Lavamancer deals 2 damage to target creature or player. So you can kind of stack that and keep doing all kinds of cool shenanigans with it. So I don't think it's worth a whole lot as far as like value card-wise, but I think it has its uses. I don't know, the foil lava axe, I guess. I don't know if that's worth anything. Scrambleverse. Let's take a look at this. I don't even remember this card, guys. It's been a while. For each non-land permanent, choose a player at random. Then each player gains control of each permanent for which he or she was chosen. On top of those permanents. 8 mana. Jeez. 8 mana cost. CMC. I don't know, guys. Is it worth it? Maybe not, huh? You never know. Alright, let's see. We got Mana Barbs. A player taps a land for mana. Mana Barb. This is annoying. It's just, this is kind of an annoying play. Like if you play this in Commander, and it's not fun. You don't want to play that card. Tectonic Rift. Nothing too crazy here. The slime. I actually did a deck with the slime in it once, and it wasn't very good, so I took that deck apart a long time ago. Nothing too crazy here. Yeah, well, got this. Oh, look, Therese Nielsen art. She isn't doing art for Magic anymore, but she really had a certain style about her. But yeah, that's a Therese Nielsen art card. I do sometimes keep the art card. Like, the card can be worthless value-wise, but I do have certain binders and folders that have just one artist in there. Just one specific artist. Overrun, that's useful. Good little way to trample and knock someone out of the game. If you have a lot of creatures in play and then you play this, forget it. Could be game over for somebody. Lurking, nothing really crazy on there. Just kind of whatever. Meh. We got foil common. This binder is kind of weak so far. I mean, the last ones I did were pretty good, like pretty epic. But I mean, we're only half. We still got a lot to go. So hopefully there's something cool in here that I can pull out of this. Druidic Satchel and Elixir of Immortality. I really don't think those have a lot of value to them, but this Elixir, this is from way back. I guess 1 and 2, you can tap a gain 5 life, shuffle Elixir of Immortality in your graveyard. I suppose there's a reason why you might want to do that. Just the fact that it can't stay out on the battlefield is what bugs me about it. Whatever. I'm sure that has a lot of uses, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't know. I like stuff to just stick around and be able to use it every turn if I want to, or Oh, there's Buried Rune. That's good for Commander, Artifact, Affinity decks. This is what drives me nuts about this guy. Like, who puts basic lands in a binder? I'm just going to pull them all out and put them in a pile. My local game store actually gives you credit for... You have to have 1,000 off them, which I'm starting to probably get a few thousand, but if you have 1,000 basic lands, they give you a $7 store credit. So I'm like, I think I'm going to go ahead and capitalize on that and just get free packs or something. Because, I mean, what am I going to do with basic lands? These are, I only like full art lands anyway. So, you know, there's I do keep the foil ones sometimes. If there's a foil, I'll keep it. Let's see. Oh, we got a... What is this, Guild Pact or something? Yeah, I think that's Guild Pact. Oh, geez, how do we say that? I guess it's Borborygamos. Jeez. Did I get it right, guys? Borborygamos? I think that might be it. I love trying to say some of these things that the Magic cards and Wizards comes up with. I'm like, where'd you guys get this from? Okay. Obviously, whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you can put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. I like that. I have a feeling this guy he's a 7-drop, but he looks like he does some cool stuff. So we'll go ahead and pull him out. He might actually be, I only have one red-green deck like that. It's an Omnath deck from a little ways back. Omnath Commander. We'll see. Maybe I can find a way to make him work, Let's see, what else we got here? Notvine Paladin. Let's see, I've seen this card before, but it's been a while. He attacks, he gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each untapped creature you control. Maybe? Why would you want... But you want to attack with more of your stuff? I don't know, maybe. I don't think that card's really worth anything, but it's kind of cool. Anything cool on this page, guys? I'm going to go with a not really. Unless there's something I don't know here. Yeah, obviously if you see something on one of these pages and like, Ivy, you don't understand how great that card is, by all means, please drop it in the comments and be like, hey, yep, you got to get that out while you can. Target player gains 7 life. Oh, well, I guess that's useful if you want to grab some life real quick. Just a lot of commons and random stuff. Again, basic lands. Why keep this many? It's so silly. Treetop Village. Isn't that like a reprint of an older card? Treetop Village. I swear I've seen that card before. You can turn it into... Oh, it's what they used to call a man land. Jeez. You can turn it into a 3/3 green 8 creature with trample. I wonder if that's worth anything. It might be. Maybe worth like $1 or something if you're on a good day. Let's see. Nothing really going on there. Ghost Fire. Why would you put this many commons in a binder? I'm thinking I want to think his system was maybe he wanted to just know what he had to make build decks or something. That's my wild guess, but I really don't know. Alright, so now we're into the Phyrexian block, or oh god, what am I trying to say here? The return to Mirrodin, I guess. And then, of course, came New Phyrexia. Let's see here. Mirrodin Besiege, that was it. Nothing there. Nothing. Phyrexian Rebirth. I think that's a board wipe, but let me take a look at it real quick. So we got Phyrexian Rebirth, destroy all creatures, and then put a XX colorless horror artifact creature token into the battlefield where X is the number of creatures destroyed this way. So it kind of board wipes, but then it gives you something. So 6 mana. It's kind of neat, I suppose. We'll just pull it and I'll sleeve it and price it out later. I have no idea. It's probably like a bulk rare, but you know what? It's still kind of neat. We got a rare here. Let's see what this is. Mitotic Manipulation. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may put one of those cards on the battlefield if it has the same name as a permanent. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in any color for 3. Maybe. I don't know. I'll leave it in there. I don't know if that's really something I would want to use. It might have uses in different deck types and shenanigans stuff. There's a foil. Let's take a look at this uncommon foil. Whenever it deals damage to a player, you may draw a card. So he has Shroud for 2/1. If he was a flyer, it'd be better. You know, it is a foil to set it aside. It'd be neat if he was a flyer. So, Valdalkin Infuser. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a charge counter on a target artifact. Charge counter? That almost sounds like a, no, those were energy. Never mind. I was thinking of Kaladesh and all that, but no, I guess charge counter? Interesting. That is way too specific, though. I don't think that card would really get much play. Let's see here. Nothing. This binder is kind of a bit of a miss. I don't see really anything. There's a lot of meh going on in here. Now, I do imagine that some commons and uncommons can be broken, or you can do wild stuff with some of this stuff, but so far on this pile, I'm not seeing anything that kind of is a huge standout. Let's take a look at this one. Slagstorm. It deals 3 damage to each creature, and it deals 3 damage to each player. I guess I'm gonna blow up. I don't know. I guess if you want to blow up the field and take out all the like low, the low power toughness creatures, by all means, I guess. Whatever. You damage yourself too, because all the players. I don't know if that's the best card in the world. If you're damaging yourself, seems dumb. I'm sure there's ways to kind of use that to your advantage. Core Prowler. I think this might be actually an okay uncommon. Let's take a look at it. So it's another infect card. When it's put into the battlefield from the graveyard from the, okay, good. Yeah, you proliferate the -1 counters on people. So this is a good way to like really increase your infect counters and everything. That's kind of cool. Good way to kill people off a little quicker. Decimator Web is a rare. Let's see what Decimator Web does exactly. I remember this card, but I haven't played it. I don't have it in any decks right now. I think the cost for it's a bit high. I mean, target opponent loses 2 life, gets a poison counter, then puts the top 6 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. For 8, I think there's more stuff you could do, really, when you're... If you're focusing on this type of a deck, maybe... Or you can get this deck cheaper, or, you know, whatever. I'm sure there's a way you can manipulate that. We'll just set it aside. It's a rare. Okay, let's see what else we got to look at. Knowledge Pool, isn't that a thing? Let's take a look at these. There's there 1 in there? There's 2, okay. It's one of those imprint cards, kind of like Isochron Scepter. When it enters the battlefield, each player exiles the top 3 cards of his or her library. Whenever a player casts a spell from his or her hand, that player exiles it. If the player does, he or she may cast another non-land card exiled with Knowledge Pool without paying that card's mana cost. So it's kind of cool. It is a 6 CMC, but it's any color mana if you want to throw it in a deck. So I have a feeling this can really get broken and used quite a bit. I don't know the value on that card. I don't think it might be worth a few bucks. It's been a while. Ooh, okay, let's see what we got. Let's see. Psychosis Crawlers, power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your hand. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent loses a life. Well, if you build a card draw deck, I guess, and this guy's in play, you're probably going to be playing him in as an artifact in a blue deck. I would imagine a lot of card draw. Let's see, Pierce Strider, nothing too crazy there. We got a rare. Let's take a look at this one. No, I'm sorry, that's a common. My mistake. Let's see. Shimmermer is rare. Actually, they're mirrors. I think it goes mirrors, like Mirrodin mirrors. Yeah. You may cast artifact cards as though they had flash. Okay. That's actually pretty cool for 3. I'm gonna put him aside. I could actually probably use him in a deck somewhere. It's almost like Vidalcan Orrery, if I remember correctly. That sounds very similar to Vidalcan Orrery. That might be a cheese way to kind of do something similar. More basic lands in a folder, guys. Really? Does anybody do this kind of thing? Does any of you guys see a reason why you'd want to put basic lands inside of a folder? Just keep them somewhere? I don't know. We got a foil uncommon. Let's see what this is. Whatever. We've got When Auriok Survivors enters the battlefield, you may return target equipment card from your graveyard to your battlefield. If you do, you may attach it to... For 6, though, it's kind of cool, I suppose. Definitely kind of useful in a equipment build deck or Voltron or something like that. It's a foil. We'll just set it aside. Might be worth a couple bucks. You never know. What's this? Favored Warship. Oh, Warship, excuse me. Jeez, nothing really... Inquisitor, Exarch. What's that do? You gain, so I don't know. That's kind of good for like a standard, or maybe, yeah, standard deck. Oh, we got a rare. Let's take a look at this one. Pure Steel Paladin from Mirrodin Besiege. Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under control, you may draw a card. Equipment you control have equipped 0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. This guy looks really useful in an equipment deck. You only cost 2 to get out. Equipment enters the battlefield under control. You may draw... Oh my god, really? I think I could probably put this guy in my Daxos deck because it has white in it, and I use him as like a Voltron. Okay, that's actually a good card. It might actually be worth something. I have no idea, but that seems like it would be really useful in an equipment build or a Voltron deck or something. Wow. Let's see what else craziness we find, guys. I'm like, I don't know. This is gonna be... Got another rare. Let's see what this is. Chancellor of the Spires. You may reveal this card from your opening hand. If you do, at the beginning of the first upkeep, each opponent puts the top 7 cards of his or her library in their graveyard. It's annoying just to have like a mill at the beginning of the game. Wow. When Chancellor enters the battlefield, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your opponent's graveyard without paying. This guy seems kind of useful. Not quite broken, but it's pretty... I'm guessing that deck type would kind of be useful. If you're building around mill, I mean... Mine, you draw 2 cards and target opponent discard. That actually... That's pretty good. You draw 2 cards and target opponent discards 2? Oh, the CMC. Yeah, mana cost 6. There's better ways to do that. That's probably not worth anything. I think that's the... Oh, we got a foil. We got a foil rare. When Phyrexian Ingester enters battlefield, you may exile target non-token creature. It gets +X +Y. We got an... We got an algebra card, guys. Oh, here we go. We're going to start going back to high school. We're going to do some algebra. Okay, he gets +X +Y, where X is the exiled creature card's power and Y is its toughness. You know, imagine if back in the days of like, was it, I guess what, 9th, 10th, maybe it was 9th grade or 10th grade. You're taking like algebra and you're like, hey... Magic cards, algebra, and you... I think it's a good way to teach algebra in a way. Okay. X, Y. That's kind of cool, right? Let's see what else we got. X and Y. I thought that was funny. What is this here? Wing Splicer enters the battlefield. Put a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature. Whatever. Meh. Interesting. Okay. I'm just looking through some of these. New Phyrexia was a very interesting, almost broken set that Magic came out with at one point. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a creature or planeswalker card from it. That player discards a card. Not quite as good as like, jeez, what's the card I'm thinking of? I can't think of it offhand. I can't, it drives me nuts. I will later, though. I know that. But Thoughtseize, that's it. Thoughtseize. There we go. Kind of like a Thoughtseize, but a crappier one. I guess a crappier Thoughtseize. Let's see what else we got here. The foil common. Ichor. A lot of stuff for New Phyrexia. Let's look at this one. A lot of these uncommons in this set are actually worth some money, but... Let's see, return target creature card with converted mana has X from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile at the beginning of the next end step. I don't know. I don't know if that's worth anything, but you can pay Phyrexian mana for it. Pay life. Pay from your life total. These cards have a lot more relevance to Commander because you start out with 40 life. You're not dinging yourself so bad. If you're playing Phyrexian mana, you can afford to lose some life and still win, even if you ding yourself from paying life points in Phyrexian mana. See anything cool in here, guys? There's a lot of uncommons and interesting random stuff. I don't know. Beast Within. That's probably been reprinted. I could have sworn I've seen that card before. Nothing too crazy on this one. There's some interesting commons and Thundering Tanadon. 5/4 for okay. Void Splicer. It sounds familiar. I've never played with this card before. There's a battlefield. You put a 3/3 Carlos Golem artifact creature target on the battlefield. You're gonna generate target golem control. Oh well, I guess if you're like Golem tribal, you wanna probably have that guy in there, maybe, I guess. Ally War, I actually use this guy once in a while as a kinda like a pseudo mana rock. Yeah, he is targeted removable, but I do use him as a mana rock sometimes. We'll set him aside. What we got here? What's this? There's so many cards in Magic's history, guys, that, I've never played with them or found a use. Exile target artifact card from your graveyard. Put a charge counter on this thing. What is there? More Golem. Okay, so this page almost seems like somebody was going after, like, Golem Tribal or something, maybe? I don't know. I'd like to see a Golem Tribal deck. If you want to post a link, guys, and I'm just curious. I've never seen one. Okay, we got another Phyrexian activation cost. Insatiable gains trample until end of turn. 5/1 for 4. I don't know. I don't know that that's worth anything. It is a foil, which is kind of cool. Oh, darn. That's not the talisman we want. Oh, well. Pristine talisman. I guess in a life gain deck, it's a way to get some extra life, I suppose. Yeah, this binder seemed a bit weaker than the other two, but we got one more to go, and that one had a lot of older things in it. I was going to kind of look through, save that one for last and kind of see what we got going on there. So we've got a rare. 2 target players exchange life totals. But you got to do it for 12 mana to do it. It's just, I think there's cards that can do that a lot cheaper, believe it or not. I'm pretty sure it's a thing. I don't think, what is this? Why are you on this page with the lands? Trespassing, oh, you can pay for Phyrexian mana, or I guess 2 life, and he becomes unblockable for 2/2. You can do that. There's a creature that automatically has that on it that's blue. I guess for artifact affinity, this is kind of cool, but other than that, I don't know that this is going to see a lot of Commander play with such a low power and toughness. Such an easy card to remove. And that wraps it up for binder number 3, guys. Thanks for going along with me on this journey. This is as much of a chaos draft of Magic's history as anything, When you buy these kind of things, it could either go either way. You could get ripped off, or you make some. I think I actually did pretty good, just looking at the volume of stuff that's here. I really believe that what's here makes it worth it. But I figured I would share it all with you guys so you can see what happens when you buy stuff like this. Feel free to drop me some comments, because I could even be missing really great cards and I don't even know, or stuff that's like crazy valuable and I just don't know. I know a pretty good idea what's good and what's valuable, but Magic is a huge game with, thousands and thousands of different cards and combos and stuff, and you just can't memorize all of it. I mean, there's probably some people that do. If you're like a level 2 Magic judge or something, maybe you do, but anyway, thank you very much for watching my videos. Please drop me some comments, like and subscribe, and we will keep marching onward into the next binder here. Thanks, guys. Bye.